All right, I just wanted to just to speak about this real quick. I was just watching a a compilation on YouTube, right? A compilation of TikTok rants, so to speak, about how the cost of living, right? And these people on there complaining about how bad their situation is, and I was just thinking, it's like, I mean, well, shit, these people, these are the few out of the masses that actually called on to, the deception of this so-called American dream, because the American dream is dead, right? There is no such thing as this concept called a American dream. That is dead. That's long gone, right? There's no such thing as achieving a American dream. The only people who could ever have a chance at receiving that is people who have won the lottery or were born into a well-off family. And if you're not one of the two, then you don't have a chance at living a comfortable life. And that's just what it is. I mean, shit, man. There's people out here who, have won the lottery, say, let's just say a solid million, right? They've won $1 million on scratch off or something. And, they go out, quit their job, live a luxurious life for a couple years, but then you find out their ass is broke. Some of them go homeless. Some of them, they might have to sell off the home they purchased, the cars they purchased. As I said, some real effed up situations, but they get themselves into it because why? Because they thought, now that I have $1 million in the bank account, now I can live large, right? I can live large off of this $1 million. But truthfully, in all factuality, $1 million is not as much money as you think it is. Here's some quick math for you. A million is 1,000 1,000 times, right? So let's say if you have $1,000, you save it for 1,000 times, that would equal a million, right? So if you spend $1,000 1,000 times over, you would spend $1 million, right? So these people, they might have won this amount of cash. A lot of these people, they go broke within say half a decade, right? They go broke in like 5 years. Shit, some of them even quicker than that. They quit their job and live off that money. Why? Because people are stupid and don't think. Figure they're going to be well off with $1 million. But then, meanwhile, individuals like myself are out here, working on, minimal wage, right? Making, damn $8 an hour. Like I used to live down in Florida, right? So down there, the minimal wage was $8 an hour, right? So here it is. I am busting my ass working for a couple hours a day. Hell, there were times I went to work for like shit, what, like 4 or 5 hours, and I make like 30 some dollars, maybe $40 if I'm lucky. I mean, that's slavery right there. That's pure slavery working for $8 an hour. I mean, shit, I can't even go. Let's just say this: 1 hour of my labor working on minimum wage could get me maybe almost a whole Subway sandwich. Because now they're like what, almost $12 for a foot long. But going back, say 3 years ago, I could probably get a foot long for like $8. But now they're a few dollars more. But I'm just showing you. I mean, that's slavery right there. That is slavery. My 60 minutes of labor is not even enough to get me a meal. I mean, think about that. And then you got idiots out here, going around claiming that they live in the land of opportunity. They live in a free country. But meanwhile, they turn a blind eye to the fact that you got people out here being literally worked to death out here. You have people, like I went to Walmart the other day, man. And, the woman at the cashier who, helped me check out, she's in her 90s. How do I know? Because I asked her. I was like, damn, and I, didn't ask rudely, but, we were having a conversation. So, eventually she told me, yeah, hell, I'm in my 90s. I'm still working here. I was thinking to myself, oh shit, you got, 1 foot in the grave and you're still out here busting your ass. It's like, Christ. As I said, man, it shows there's a verse in the Bible that says that the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, right? This governmental structure they have, it's a cruel system, man. They'll literally have people out here being worked to death. It's all corrupt, right? Don't believe people when they tell you that you live in a free country. America's a free country. That's bullshit right there. America is not a free country. America is a corporation, right? America is no different than any other country. You do what they tell you or they hurt you. That's why I've always said, the government of America is what you call a totalitarian form of government. Right? America has what's called a totalitarian form of government. Now, somebody will hear me make that statement and then they'll say, well, wait, but the government over China is worse. But then my response would be is no, that's actually not so. Because in China, they'll come out and plainly tell the people, no, we have control over your life. We tell you what you can and cannot do and you obey us. But in America, the government will tell you, they'll deceive you and tell you that, you're free. You can do what you want. It's a free country. It's, you do you, right? We're here to serve you. It's like anybody that believes such bullshit like that, I mean, you're a dumbass if you believe that the government is, as they say, right, for the people and by the people. I mean, how can you show that exactly? Because all I've seen by government is domination over the population it reigns over. That's all I've ever witnessed. I mean, so anybody who claims that it's a government for the people and by the people, the burden of evidence is on you to prove that because you clearly can't. America has what's called a totalitarian form of government, and it's easily provable. They can set up any type of decree and rule that they want, and you obey it or they will hurt you. That's how it works. Hundreds of years ago, it used to be called the divine right of kings. But now, in the 21st century, now it's called the divine right of politicians. Right? You have people who are believed to be lawmakers, meaning what? They can, by their personal opinions and views of the world, they can dictate what me and you can and cannot do by their choices. Like, say, for an example, just to give a hypothetical, if they think that, I am 19 and I shouldn't be able to buy tobacco products with my own hard-earned money, then they can write a rule on a piece of paper, right, and say, well, I declare that you now cannot buy this product until a couple years later with your own money because, well, I say so. Or, if you're 20, I mean, yeah, you can drive a vehicle, you can risk your life driving a vehicle, but you cannot purchase alcohol yet. Now you ask, well, what's the logic behind that? And the answer is there's not. It's just, again, it goes down to the divine right of politicians. Whatever they demand, you obey or they will hurt you. That's what it is. Whatever the government commands, you obey or armed men will break your door down and haul your ass to prison. A dumbass out here say this is a free country. I mean, you got to be a dumbass to say that America is a free country. I mean, you literally contradict yourself and don't even know what you believe. I mean, that's just unbelievable. These dumbasses out here, they think the government is for them and by them. But yet when you challenge some of their most simplest beliefs, you clearly see they don't have a clue what's going on. Like, say, for an example, these people out here, think the government took people to the moon back in the 60s. But then they'll be like, well, we don't really have the technology to safely get humans, through the Van Allen belt today and safely land on the moon. We can't do that today. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. So you guys, you safely took 2 men to the moon back in the 60s, took them there and back to the Earth. They went through the radiation belt without a problem. And now, 50 years later, you cannot replicate the same thing. I mean, And these Americans out here will be like, oh, it's nothing to see there. We actually went to the moon. Don't question the government. I mean, you gotta be stupid to believe that the government would lie to you for money. You gotta be stupid to believe that. But again, it just shows that these dumbasses out here, they're like, well, what do they call it? NPCs? Right, non-player characters. Oh, NPCs, I believe it's called. Right, they're non-player characters. That's what a lot of these people are out here, man. Walking around, they're called worthless eaters, right? That's how the global elite look at the population. They call them they call them worthless eaters. That's why, going back to these things, the what is it called? The Georgia Guidestones, which they got blown up last year, right? Well, actually, when you look into the story about what happened with those, it was either somebody blew it up with a dynamite or the lightning struck it. It's one or the two based on the footage we've seen. It's one of those two is what happened to the Guidestones last year, around this time, actually. But anyway, it says on it, or it said because they don't exist now, but it said that you should keep, humanity in line with nature at a population of, 500 million. So they want 500 million humans on the earth, and then they got to kill everybody else off. Or they got to kill off the worthless eaters. That's how they refer to the population. So again, it boggles the mind how, dumbass could be out here saying, oh, there's no conspiracies, we should just trust the government, we should just trust the mainstream narrative, we should trust the, World Health Organization, we should trust all of these governmental organizations because they have our best interest in mind. It's like, dumbass, the hell are you talking about? Got your best interest in mind. If I'm not mistaken, it's like, didn't they just about force everybody? And hell, they were paying people off to line up like 3 years ago and get this mysterious juice put into them. Read between the lines, you know what I'm talking about. Which now you got young, healthy athletes dropping dead. It's called sudden adult death syndrome. Look that up. Got young, healthy people dropping dead. Random people would just be sitting there on the, with the couch. Next thing you know, they're dead due to, heart attack. Now, this is what's going on now. And this wasn't happening, 5, 10 years ago. But why is it all happening now? Because they're killing the population off. It's not a conspiracy. This is what's called a conspiracy fact. So again, it's just people are just delusional and just won't, realize, the reality of the situation. Which I'm going all over the place, but it's all, edifying. It's all, good message to the point. That, going back to what I opened up the video with, man, most of these people out here, got no clue what's going on. They get up in the morning, go to work, come back home, go to bed, and, repeat the same process for 5 or 6 days out of the week. And then repeat the phrase, well, I'm free, I'm free. It's like, well, damn, if you were free, wouldn't you be making more money than working on, $10 an hour? It's like shit. I mean, as I said, that's slavery right there, man. This is slavery. Slavery was never done away with. They don't have your ass in chains now, whereas they did back then. But there's a very good reason, because they can now mentally enslave you. They have control over your mind. The word government means mind control. Look that up. That's what the word government means, to have control over one's mind, right? So they have control over your mind. They can make you believe whatever they want you to believe. Like, say, for an example, going back to the whole tobacco thing. Just 4 years ago, you could go into the store and buy it at 18 without a problem. But now, you can't. They won't let you. So people's whole view of reality changed when Trump signed his signature on a piece of paper. So before, at 18 you could buy it. But now you have to be 21. So the whole morality changed overnight by a rich man writing his signature on a piece of paper, that and everybody else blindly repeats it. Like, say for an example, if I was to go into the store today, fully grown man, right, 6 foot tall, got a beard on my face, but if I try to purchase tobacco with my own hard-earned money, I wouldn't be able to do that. But if I wait 6 weeks later, when I'm 21, then I will be allowed to do it. And nobody has a problem with that. Because again, the people just go along to get along. Their whole mind, their whole reality, their whole perception of what's real and what's not is told to them, it's dictated to them by the deity called government. Because government is a religion. Look up a book called The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose. Government is absolutely a religion. It has deities, right, humans, that are viewed as being gods. As in what? These lawmakers and legislators, they call them, where they have the power to claim what is and what is not moral, and everybody else has to abide by their arbitrary commands. And if you don't, you will be hunted down, killed, executed, charged a massive fine, or thrown in jail. So again, government is a religion and a war for your mind as well. So as I said, anybody who believes, what they're being told by the government, that person is just a NPC, right? A non-player character. They're living in the matrix, right? They're living in the matrix. Their mind hasn't been woken up to the reality of the situation. Like, say for an example, if I was to just suggest to them that maybe, which 9/11, that's coming up in a couple of days here, September 11th. So what is it, the 22nd year anniversary of it? But if you were to suggest to people that maybe, the U.S. government had some type of involvement in it, in some form, they'll be like, oh, it's not possible, not possible. I mean, that's like so weird to suggest something like that. But then they won't look into the information, that you can provide. Like, a lot of these dumbass don't even know that there was actually 3 buildings that fell, right? They don't know about, building 7, right? They don't know about that. They just know about the 2 towers. So then I ask them, it's like, well, wait, how'd the 3rd building fall over? Because that one didn't get hit by, the plane. So how the hell did that building fall over? They controllably, brought it down. But anyway, I won't go into detail on all of that, but you can look into it. Information is easily available on the topic. But I just wanted to go on a little rant. Hope that video is edifying, and I'm going to say shalom.